Okay, we are on page 3. We're going to be factoring these polynomials, and so most of them you're going to notice are, actually they're all quadratic binomials. Okay, so anyways, we are looking at what times what makes this right here. And so if you recall, we have this little kind of trick here where we can put the -5 in the top and put the 4 in the bottom, and it's what times what equals the -5 and adds to give us this 4. So recall that 1 times 5 makes 5. It's a prime number. And then what sign needs to be there? Well, if I say 5 minus 1, doesn't that make a positive 4? So we would get factors of x minus 1, x plus 5 as our answer. Now, what's this little box for over here if you want to use it? It's to test your answers, meaning I just got an answer of x minus 1 and x plus 5 as my factors. Let's multiply that out. See how x times x equals x squared? X times -1 goes in this box, x times 5, and 5 times -1. And then if I combine these middle terms, -1 plus 5 does give me a 4x. So this is like a check. Check. It works. We use that box over on the side. Okay, so let's go through and remember, pause the video, try some of these, and then replay it and see how you did. On this next one, we're going what times what makes -6 and subtracts to give me -1. I'm thinking 2 times 3 makes 6. And this time the 3 gets the negative because 2 minus 3 is -1. So we put x plus 2, x minus 3, and then we test it out. X times x is x squared plus 2x minus 3x minus 6. And I look to see that -3x plus 2x does give me a -1x. So it checks. When you do these on your final, you don't have to do the check if you're feeling pretty solid on it, because you're just going to be choosing an answer. You are showing work on scratch paper, but you don't have to do the full check. You can also do it in your head. Okay, so over here, what times what equals -12 and subtracts -1? I'm thinking x plus 3, x minus 4. And so then I go test it out. I get x times x, 3 times x, -4 times x, -4 times 3. And I notice that -4 plus 3 does give me this -1x right here. Check. What times what equals 30 and subtracts to -1? Were you thinking 5 and 6? What times what equals 20 and adds up to 9? X plus 4, x plus 5. What times what equals -18 and adds up to -7? X plus 2, x plus 9. I'm sorry, x minus 9. What times what equals 56 and adds up to -15? And that would be 7 times 8. X minus 7, x minus 8 are my factors. What times what equals 49 adds up to 14? X plus 7, x plus 7. Now wait a second. When we get the same thing twice, this is a special kind of factoring called perfect square trinomial. Because it's the same thing times itself, we can write it as the x plus 7 squared factors. What times what equals 24 and adds up to 11? What times what equals -48 and adds up to 8? What times what equals 45 and adds up to negative 14? What times what equals negative 80? What times what equals negative 54? What times what equals negative 36? Finally, what times what equals 60? So hopefully you paused the video and tried some of that on your own in your head. And if you don't like this little method, you can use the box method. You don't need to write a little X. You can just try guessing and then multiplying it out. But this little X, some people call it the X, some people call it the diamond. It can be really helpful in figuring out what your factors are. Okay, how'd you do? That was page 3 of the review, factoring.